So welcome to the Evolve podcast. My name is Elena Tall. I am part of the Revolution Youth Team. Born and raised Vermonter, creative. Always been in design. In high school, I did a full pen and ink portfolio for my AP exam. That was kind of really when I started to find my style. I think you hear a lot about artists, especially when they're younger, trying to find what medium they really connect with. Because I think we all, when we're younger, we, are given art lessons and paint and here's a pencil and whatever. And that's really hard to do, to be really effective at realism and drawing things accurately. And that's not always effective. So when I started with pen and ink, that was really great for me because I'm not hugely into colors. So black and white was my way to go. And after I created that portfolio, that was when I was like, oh, yeah, I connect with this medium. I really like this. And I like how it looks when I scan it. I like how it looks online. And once I got to college, doing communication and design, mostly communication, but, still design as more than just a hobby, started moving towards more Adobe platforms, and now Procreate as my latest obsession. That's really become where I kind of want to dial things in, and also learning how to advertise work like that, how to be a part of a community and really advertise and market that community as a place that I'm also passionate about. And then I think really is a lot of place, or is a place where other people who especially don't want to go to college feel like they want to share their voice and share an opinion where they're not going to be judged. And I think Evolve and this type of community that we have here is really effective for that. And it's free. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars in tuition. It's amazing. Today I have a special guest, Bella Lopez. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bella. I am currently a junior, going into my junior year at Olivet Nazarene University. I head out for school in 6 days, which is really scary. But I've been a part of the Rev community for a little bit over a year now. I got involved last summer. I absolutely love this community. Everyone's so awesome. I grew up in Colorado and moved. And music and art have always been both a huge part of my life. I grew up doodling over every surface I could and thinking around on the piano and writing songs since I was 5. But yeah, definitely in high school, I did, similar to Elena, I did AP art. Mine was a little bit different. I'm obsessed with color. I only do.
You
only do color. And it's always been, I've always loved songwriting. I did a lot of projects in high school where we coordinated shows, and I would write music for that and multiple songs, and would write sheet music for a pit band and multiple voice parts for a choir and solos. And I just loved it. It was so much fun. Some of my favorite memories from high school were writing music and being part of music during high school too, doing choir and stuff and festivals. But yeah, now I'm at this point where I'm 2 years into college and I have dozens and dozens and hundreds of unfinished songs that I have gone my whole life and never really shown anyone and never really put myself out there. And I'm really excited to kind of start putting some of those on this platform and hopefully getting some good feedback and finally finishing some of them and putting them out because I've never done that.
Yeah. Do you have any top songs that you would think this is what I'd want to show? This is what I want to show the world first.
Yeah, I have a couple that I really love that I do have a couple that I've performed publicly, but I have some, especially in the last year and a half that I've written that I really love. They really hit home for me, and I have never shown anyone.
Yeah, well, you should share them because now I'm incredibly curious. Knowing you for many years, and now I'm oh,
yeah,
what's she got to say?
Yeah, and I've been writing a lot of worship music lately too, which has been really fun.
That.
But yeah,
what would it take for you to throw those out there?
I mean, it's just scary, it's your heart and soul, and you put it out in a thing, you hand it to someone, you're please don't stab this.
I know. I kind of went in a phase of poetry where I would just like would write scenes, especially I feel like when you're dating or like in a relationship. I was in those scenes where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so poetic. I'm gonna, you know, write out my scene that I envision in my head in poetry and keep them on a locked notes app on my phone. And I was going through those kind of phases where I was like, oh, kind of like songwriting. For you, like you're conveying a message and there's emotion through that and all that. But
that's what songwriting is too. It's poetry.
Yeah. And so even that, like the few times I've shared those with people, I'm like, oh, like this is vulnerable. This is scary. So I can relate to that on a more writing level, not just with music, but it's scary because it reveals like your inner thoughts and how you process your feelings, and that can easily be misread by someone. Yeah,
definitely surrounding relationships too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much to write with dating.
It gets a little messy.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. But yeah, I'm hoping to, with my work, as I, continue and collaborate with other people, I think it's great to combine media too, especially with Procreate and working more with like photos as well. And designing on top of photos is really great, and not just creating digital work. Because I feel like we're working towards a kind of saturated market with certain things with Procreate, certain things with, stickers and all that type of stuff. A lot of it's the same. And kind of working to find your own style is really hard. I feel like increasingly young people in general are very creative, very not rebellious, but we really challenge the status quos. And I feel like a lot of that is inherent with what's going on in the world right now. But a lot of people are finding their voices and creating content that really shares that. And so for me, I think it's hard because I had a style in high school and then through college, kind of on and off now. But also as new things come out, I'm like, oh, I want to try that. I want to learn that platform, and learn from other people around me who have maybe, even if they haven't used it before, have other shared experiences like, hey, I can bring this media into what you're working on, and, I can add to that. And so I think, working with other people just makes you grow more and more. I think there's, the artist mindset tends to be, oh, like I have an art studio in my backyard and I work alone. And while that is great,
it's like me. Yeah.
This
is my thing.
Yeah. And it's not all, it doesn't have to be all like, I'm just creating work for myself. And obviously it is, and it's incredibly fulfilling. But working with other people to create work just, I feel like, gains so much more perspective. Yeah. And they learn from you, you learn from them. And it's it works both ways.
I know for me too, like I haven't really ever had a community where I felt like I could sit down and be like, this is a song I'm working on and I like value you as another artist and I want you to work with me. Like I feel like I've just never had people around me who, are interested in that and are willing to collaborate. You know what I mean? So that's also what I'm really excited for. Yeah. To have some people be like, do this, try this, and me be like, yes.
Yeah, and provide you some motivation.
Yes, exactly.
Passion. And who know that genre and like that circle. Because I know like for myself, like I don't know your music circle. That's not where my knowledge is. And so for you to have those people and have that is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
Songwriters, hit me up. Let's work.
Let's collaborate. Let's do this. So if you want to be a part of this community that we're talking about, sharing these conversations that we're having on the app Mighty Networks, look for Evolve, and we can be found on there. Join a circle, get involved with this team. We would love to have you be a part of it. Also find Evolve on Facebook, on Instagram. We would love to have you.
And if you want to just check out our website too, that's evolve-network.com. You can search that and get connected.
And evolveawards.com. Love to have you submit your work. We look forward to hearing from you.
We have an iPad.
Win those prizes.
And AirPods.
Let's go.
You want them.
Well, thanks for being on, Bella. This was a great conversation. Hopefully when you come back on break, we'll have you back.
Of course.
Continue our conversation. Hoping to be on this podcast more as I'll be sticking around here in Burlington. So, get used to my voice. It's going to be great.